Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Fazila Bijo, and this is the Inner Work Mastery channel where I explore, discuss, and bring through practical teachings from mystics like Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy, Florence Scovel Shinn. I have mainly been focusing on Neville's work, and today is no different. It is from the book Out of This World, and the chapter is called Power of Imagination. How to apply it, what you can and should do, as well as what will render your manifestations ineffective. And in today's episode, I will be covering what it means in terms of the truth setting you free, a little bit about I am, and something that I uncovered in exploring and working with this chapter: you are. And it's something, these are terms we use in our everyday language. The importance of it is highlighted in this video today. I'll also be discussing what it means to deny the evidence of your senses, or to withdraw the senses from your physical world. It is a key part in terms of manifesting, in terms of moving away from problem to the solution-based imaginal scene, and it often is required that you practice. You must practice this particular aspect, or it makes it really difficult for you to see and focus on what you truly want to manifest. So Neville starts this chapter with the following quote: "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." He brings this aspect up because what he says is that men claim that a true judgment must conform to the external reality to which it relates. What he means here is that mostly, the majority of people will believe that the external reality is true for them, and that their judgment is now tied in to the external reality. What he says is the ancients tell us not to judge from appearances, because the truth does not conform to the external reality to which it relates. So no matter what you see as your external appearances, that is not the truth. So this is the first thing that you should become aware of, is do not judge your life from the external reality, from your physical world, from the events and actions that are going on. Everything comes from you. Remember, the law of assumption says that your imagination, your consciousness create reality. Other aspect that we're advised to look at is, if the assumption, if the belief that we have of someone or even ourselves does not raise us into a higher ideal, it does not free us from the problem, it is untrue and therefore a false judgment. A case in point would be the following. So imagine, if you will, that you were imprisoned, and when you're in this prison cell, you suggest to yourself that you are free, and you may even succeed in believing that you are free. It would be true that you believe in your freedom, but it does not follow, it does not unfold that you become free, because you may still be the victim of illusion. So what we see is that most people will look at the external environment or the external situation and make that their reality. Their judgment of it would be that they conform to the external reality. Now, when we have a desire, so anyone who may be in prison desires to be out of prison. However, what they hold in their subconscious mind, what their fears might be and what their conflict might be, would be that they believe they are imprisoned. And so you have the conflict between the desire and imagination, and where the person wants to be free, but they are conscious of being a prisoner. that consciousness of being the prisoner will be a stronger overriding factor. Do not give importance to what your circumstances or your external environment is saying. You will focus on what is the solution. You move your focus from being problem oriented to becoming solution driven. You move your state of consciousness, you imprint your subconscious with the state of someone who is free. So the ancients claimed that we would bear false witness to evil or unlovely thoughts against ourselves or someone else. If we believed the unlovely, we are bearing false witness, which means that we are making something that is not true a reality. For example, you may have been told you are stupid, or you've been called lazy, or you are wrong. All of these are unlovely thoughts. Now, if we have any unlovely thoughts, we are to raise them, and we do this for ourselves and for others in our lives. Because if what we believe to be true of another does not free him, it is untrue, and therefore it is a false judgment. So what you must do is practice denying your senses in terms of the evidence that is in front of you, which is the problem state, and imagine as true what makes that person free, what makes you free. So, for example, if you hear your friend is unemployed, hear and see that he is employed in your imagination. So deny what your senses are seeing as evidence or hearing as evidence. You must discard that. So you must practice denying the evidence of your senses and only imagine that which would make your neighbor free or you would be free. You would never accept that the problem state is as your reality. You would look at what your desired state is, and you practice witnessing with the senses in imagination what the desired state would be. So an important and key part is understanding that when we use the words I am, we are stating something as a definition of God. I am is the first cause. It is the substance of which things are made of. When you say I am, and any words that follow, those are words that will become manifest in your life. I am is the foundation on which everything rests. I am is the name of God. So when we say I am healthy, we are saying that God within is healthy. God within is your imagination. When your imagination takes this in, when your imagination imprints that as a state of being, then the health follows, the health unfolds. So the same for I am abundant. When we have accepted that I am abundant is the state I wish to be, and I will only see that in terms of my reality, I will only see, hear, and believe that I am abundant. I act as though I'm already abundant. It becomes something that imprints into the subconscious mind, provided you do not have any barriers to that state that you are seeking. So your desired state is always, always, always the one you will practice feeling, sensing, hearing in terms of your desire. What you deny in terms of your senses is what you would see, the state of lack or the state where you do not have that desire as yet. You will deny that as your reality. You withdraw your senses away from the external world, and you will continually practice going into your inner world of imagination. And how you also will do this is by using the following guidance, the following ruling, which really is that the golden rule is there as a guiding principle for the law of assumption. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. Would you like someone to think unkindly of you in terms of, say, you being unemployed, if you were to be unemployed? Or would you prefer that they had lovely thoughts about you and they saw that you were gainfully employed? So we must now look at this as the golden rule will govern everything that I do and say and how I imagine. When we wish that others would see us in a higher state, in a higher light, we must equally see them in that higher state and light. So do not bear false witness to that which is the lie. You only imagine that which will elevate, raise others in terms of what they desire. So to imagine evil or unlovely thoughts about your neighbor is to define yourself. When you define yourself by how you think about others, that becomes your reality. So this is why golden rule is so important. And to take it a step further, when we think of others, when we speak to others, and we say you are, like we would say I am is the name of God. When you say you are, you as God, you as the creator manifester of your life, you are now proclaiming that that state is real for the person. So often we will say to someone, you are great, you are amazing. Equally, we could criticize them, so you are stubborn. So be aware that in this instance now, when you use these words, you are now bearing witness to what state you see to be real for that person. And those words that you place after you are what follows. It is what you proclaim to be true for the other person. So if you do not deny, if you do not desire that for yourself, do not witness it, do not proclaim it for someone else. So you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Know the truth is that you only see the lovely, you see that which your neighbor, the other person would actually desire for themselves. And this is the power of your imagination. When you know the truth of your neighbor, you must assume that he is already that which he desires to be. Now, any concept, any belief, attitude, perception, judgment we have that is not the other person's fulfilled desire will not make him free, and it is not truth. So always desire that you elevate, you raise others up in your consciousness. And that means we must now look at why and how this works. For the Lord seeth as a man seeth. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. Man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I'm breaking this down in the next couple of slides. So here we see that for the Lord seeth not as man seeth. It means that the imagination, the Lord, God, your subconscious, will see events and experiences different to how the eyes of man sees it, because man looks at external reality and calls that truth. We know that from an imagination perspective, how you use the power of your imagination, that man who sees the outside world, physical world, and thinks that is true is actually not true. The outward appearance does not override your inner reality. Because as the Lord looketh on the heart, as imagination, God, consciousness looks at the heart and feels the feeling, we know that that is what comes into reality. That is what comes to pass. Because as a man feels in his heart, so he is, so he becomes, and that is what he creates. Because desire is the power imagination uses to fashion life about me as I fashion it within myself. What it means is that when in terms of my desire, I see a certain person or I see a certain scene that I would love to have in my reality. And using the power of imagination, I'm able to create. I create the life that I would love to have. I create the scene. I create the state of consciousness where I see the person has their desire. So always remember that you have this immense power of your imagination, and you can use it for your lovely or unlovely thoughts, in which and through which you will find that that is what unfolds into your reality. So that is the power of imagination, and it's part of the lecture. There were many other aspects to this particular lecture which I haven't included, and I'll be sure to do that in our next video. So please leave your comments, please like, subscribe, but definitely please understand what it means to deny the senses of your reality. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.